Today I'm going to show you how I create effective vocal delay throws. Hey, what's going on, my friend? Chris here from MIXDOWN Online. Now, if you're new here on the channel, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss anything. And for all of you, share and like if you enjoy this video. Okay, now let's talk about vocals, and especially vocal delay throws. So what is a vocal delay throw? It's basically a delay that you add on a specific word, phrase, or line of a vocal at one specific moment of a song. And this is what we call a vocal delay throw, which is quite common in modern rock and pop music. So let's jump in Cubase and let me show you how I manage that on my new single that is going to come out in the next few days. So this is a song that I co-wrote with two friends of mine. It's part of our In Contrast project. So let's listen to the verse, the second verse actually, where I have a lot of throws going on, a lot of delay throws. And then I'm going to show you how I created those vocal throws. So let's have a quick listen to the verse. Okay, so now what I did to create those vocal delay throws, it's basically by creating myself an audio track, an extra empty audio channel track. And this one is a stereo one. And I'm going to explain to you why stereo. Now I am working in Cubase, but you can apply everything that I'm teaching here on any DAW. So if you're not using Cubase, just apply the same technique on your DAW and you are going to be good to go. Okay, so now I created myself an audio track, which is stereo, and this is the one right here, which is called Lead Effects. On this stereo track, I inserted a stereo delay. That's why I created myself a stereo channel. It's because my first insert is a stereo delay. And those are all stock plugins out of Cubase. So now the first delay out of that stereo delay is a quarter note that goes to the far left. Okay, so it's panned to the left, and I have a low filter and high filter added, and the dry and wet goes directly to wet, so it's 100% wet, and I have quite a huge feedback at 63%. The second one is a half of a note that is also panned, but this time to the far right, still 100% wet. Feedback is at around 68%. Also filtering out the low and high frequencies of this delay. And then on the second insert, I have Destroyer, which is a distortion/saturation plugin, which can definitely destroy your sound, but I kind of like what it does here, and I just add that after the delay, so it adds that kind of distortion type sound on the delayed signal. And then I have an EQ just to add a low-pass filter to clean up the top end of the signal. And then what I did, I just added the lines, the vocal lines. I just copied my entire verse, okay? I just copied that over to the top to that empty track. That is a stereo one. Now, before you ask me, I did copy it over the mono signal, which is those events, okay? Those audio events, which is my lead vocal, my verse lead vocal. I just copied those events, which are mono, into this stereo channel. That doesn't matter. That, that audio is still going to be mono, but the channel itself is stereo. So when the mono vocal is going to go into the delay is going to be stereo, and the rest is history. So I have my vocal track, and I just kept the phrase and the words that I want to add some delay on. That's it. And since the delay is 100%, I'm not going to hear any dry signal of that vocal. The dry signal is actually this vocal track, my regular verse vocal track. This is going to be blended in parallel with the original track. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to blend that up by automating the volume of that channel. So this is going to determine how much effect I am going to add in the mix. So let's have a quick listen to what that sounds like by only listening to the vocals, okay?
Tonight we go along, go for what we're longing for. I know time is drawing near, time for facing all we fear.
Okay, if I solo the effect only, this is what I get. Okay, just because I added Destroyer and a bit of an EQ, it gives me like a dark, distorted, overdrived sound of the vocal that is delayed, and with a lot of repeats because I have a lot of feedback going on, and I kind of like the tone that I get with that. And when I blend that with my original vocal track, this is what it sounds like, which is quite nice.
Tonight we go along, go for what we're longing for.
Now the cool thing afterwards is to automate the amount of delay and the amount of effect you want to add to those lines and words. And this is what I did here. I did a lot of automation throughout the song and just to automate that effect. So if we go and listen to the second part of that verse, you'll notice that at the end, the level goes down and then comes right up and even higher. So this way I can just add more tail to the end line of the verse. I added some delay on that last line. And that delay is going to, with all the repeats, is going to overlap on the beginning of the chorus. And this is what I wanted for an effect. And that's why I use a separate track to manage that effect. So this way I have way more control opposed to if I was only using the regular vocal track and using a send and just send that signal to an effects channel track where I have a delay and automate that send level. So that can also work to create vocal throws, but you have way less control than what I am doing right now. So let's have a quick listen to the end part of the verse and just pay attention to the last line when we go into the chorus. You'll notice that the delay is going to overlap on the first line of the chorus. Okay, so that's the effect that I was looking for, and by doing it this way, I have enough control to manage that out. Okay, now this is one way to do it. Now, let me show you another way which is close to this one, but this is in the case where you want to use a specific delay or effect that you want to add on specific words. But you have like several tracks that you want to use that effect on. In this case, I'm going to create an effects channel track instead of an audio track to insert my delay. And this is what I have right here. So this V echo is the stereo delay, same chain as I had before, but this time it's on an effects channel track. And this one is, of course, a stereo effects channel track. Then I created myself an audio track. This one is mono, it doesn't need to be stereo. And this is where I add all the selected words or phrase or lines that I want to add delay on. And again, I'm going to use this technique, this option, if I have more than one track that I want to use that delay on. So I have that mono track, and again, I don't want to hear anything dry coming out of that channel. So what I did here, when I look at the fader is way down. I'm going to unmute it, but the fader is way down, and I'm sending the signal of that channel to this V echo. which is my stereo delay effects channel track. But I am sending that signal pre-fader. So the signal is going to be sent to the effects channel track before hitting the fader. So that's why I'm able to bring the fader way down and the signal is still going into this effects channel track. The output of that channel, that audio mono channel, can actually just go to no bus. It doesn't matter because I don't want to hear anything dry coming out of that channel. So in my case, I just selected no bus as an output, so it's going nowhere, and my fader is, of course, way down. But if it's going nowhere, even if you bring the fader up, it doesn't matter. You're not going to hear anything anyways. So I have the same automation going on. I did the same on the effects channel track. So this is where I'm going to automate the level of that delay that I'm adding on the mix. And let's have a listen. It's going to sound the same. So let's just listen to the second part of the verse.
If we will find truth before we cross the line, silently I'm screaming loud. There's so much to figure out. Can you hear me?
So there you go. This is how I create vocal delay throws. Don't forget that this can be done not only in Cubase, but in any DAW. If you have any questions or comments, please leave everything down below. And if you're new here on the channel, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss anything. And for all of you, share and like this video if you think that the video was helpful. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and see you.